Today, I am interviewing the founder of Weston A. Price. She's the founding president of Weston A. Price Foundation and the best-selling author of the book Nourishing Traditions. She's been a pioneering voice in bringing back traditional, nutrient-dense foods and challenging the low-fat industrial nutrition narrative that has contributed to our modern chronic disease burden. And in this episode, we'll unpack the wise traditions principles that Dr. Weston A. Price actually discovered in his research on traditional cultures and how those insights can help you rewrite your own metabolic prescription for health. Just right off the bat, for the people who aren't familiar with Weston A. Price, could you tell us a little bit about who Weston A. Price was and how did you decide you want to become the founder of the Weston A. Price Foundation?
So Weston A. Price was a dentist, a dentist who asked a lot of questions, very top man in his field. And he kept asking himself, why are my patients so sick? Why every mouth I look in has cavities, infection, and what he called dental deformities, which was crowded, crooked teeth, narrow jaws, and we're hearing a lot about this today. And he decided he had heard that the dental health of traditional primitive people, and that's the word they used in those days, primitive, was excellent. So he decided to find out for himself. And he spent 10 years traveling to remote parts of the globe with his trusty camera and taking notes to answer two questions. Was it true? Could he find these healthy people? And secondly, if he could, what were they eating? So he found 14 groups with excellent dental health, that is, virtually no cavities. And also, everyone had broad faces and naturally straight teeth. And they were very healthy as well, with very fine physiques and ease of childbirth. That was another feature that he found. The real question is, what were these diets like? And they were different. Some in the Eskimos had hardly any plant foods, and in the South Seas they had more carbohydrates and so forth. And they had more fruit, more vegetables. So how can we make sense of all this? And that's what we've tried to do at the Weston A. Price Foundation, is we have 11 principles of healthy traditional diets. And the main principle is that they were very rich in minerals and what we call the fat-soluble vitamins, which we get from organ meats, animal fats, and certain seafoods, foods that people don't eat much anymore. And these were vitamins A, D, and K. K was called the Price factor. And we need these vitamins to absorb the minerals. This is why when you put butter on your carrots or your broccoli, you will absorb the minerals in that broccoli because you get vitamins A, D, and K in the butter. And one really interesting thing that he found was that they had special foods for ensuring healthy children. And they started eating these foods 6 months before conception, then through conception, through breastfeeding, and through the entire growth of the child. They got these special foods. And when Price measured the vitamins in these foods, they were very rich, again, in these fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, and K, and very high in minerals. So I discovered Dr. Price's work in 1974. I raised my children on this diet. They reversed the physical degeneration. I needed braces to straighten my teeth. None of my kids needed braces. So I was able to reverse this trend. But what we're seeing today is what they call the epidemic of narrow jaws. Yep. And this is blamed on soft foods, but that has nothing to do with the texture of the foods, has nothing to do with it. It's the nutrient density of the foods. And anyway, we founded the Weston A. Price Foundation. After Nourishing Traditions came out, Mary Enig and I, my co-author and I, along with my husband and Dr. Tom Cowan, we felt that we needed something more than just the book. Yeah. So we founded the Weston A. Price Foundation. We've been going strong ever since. We publish a journal. We put on an annual conference. This year it's going to be in Washington, D.C. in October. We do a podcast, we put out flyers and trifolds. Any way we can make this information available to people, we do. We're on our third generation of processed devitalized foods, and there's not going to be any more reproduction if we continue.
Yeah, right now it's really bad. You hear about it all the time.
The thing is, when couples trying to get pregnant, when they get on our diet, they get pregnant.
Oh, that's
It's,
Yep.
nice.
they just change, get off the all garbage and get on animal fats. The very foods we're being told not to eat are the foods we need to have healthy pregnancies.
Now, I know we always hear about eating butter, real butter, and I didn't know because before doing this podcast, I was watching some of your interviews, but you talking about the vitamins A, D, and K, and I didn't realize it was butter was rich in that.
Yeah, and butters, and you need all three together. If you take vitamin D, you're going to deplete your body of A and K. It's a very dangerous practice that we're doing. Or they take D and K together, and that depletes vitamin A even further. And vitamin A is our number one vitamin for fertility, also for fighting cancer. So they need to be together. And what we really like are foods where they're all there together. And butter is one of them. Another one is poultry fat and poultry liver. So
Yeah.
we're really big on chicken liver pot and these kinds of foods. So we're doing some really exciting analyses right now of vitamin content in food. We started off with vitamin D. And would you like to guess which food was absolutely the highest in vitamin D?
Mm,
You have no.
eggs.
It was lard.
Oh,
It
makes
was
sense.
twice the
Wow.
intensity of any other food was in lard. And
Really?
this is a food that we've shunned.
Yeah.
And we know that we're deficient in vitamin D in our diet. And all we need to do is start cooking in lard again. It
Now,
should
what
be.
about compared to tallow?
We haven't measured tallow. My understanding is it's not particularly rich in the fat-soluble
Huh.
vitamins. In the ruminant animals, those vitamins go into the liver and the milk and the butter fat. But we'll get around to
Okay.
tallow.
So you mentioned liver, the chicken liver pate. So tell us how you got started on that.
My parents were Francophiles. They loved France. And when I was in college, I went to France. I was a student there and I lived with a family. And there I discovered all these foods like terrine, liver and liver spreads and things like this. And I was in heaven eating these foods. I'd never had them before. And so I
Wow.
just learned to make them. When I came home, I ate them. And lo and behold, my first child was just this beautiful little girl, beautiful straight teeth when
Yeah.
she grew up,
Good.
smart, round face. And so my boys, the same thing. In fact, they each got a rounder face each time because I was doing more and more.
Yeah.
Added
So,
cod liver oil to my diet.
Oh yes, cod liver. I got so I bought some because I heard somebody talking about cod
Yeah,
liver oil. Like I would do a teaspoon a day or
yeah,
something. But we came across it in the refrigerator. Does it go bad?
yeah. It will go rancid.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah,
I'll get
yeah.
some more.
In this country, up to the Second World War, Americans, except for those in the rural South, which was very poor, but most Americans had the best diet that any country could have had. Every child got cod liver oil. That was to protect them from measles and infectious disease, but it also helped them have nice straight teeth and strong bones and so forth.
now, do
Every
they
child
just
got
feed it
cod
to him
liver oil.
straight? Do you just
Yeah,
feed it, or
yeah,
mix
you
it in
got
with
your
something?
spoonful of cod liver oil. You got it at home. You got it at the doctor's office. You got it in Sunday school. You got it
Really?
in school. Every child got, if you, in the Great Depression in the migrant camps, they gave cod liver oil to the children.
Huh.
Yeah, and then we drank raw milk.
Yep.
Everybody had raw milk. Nobody was afraid of butter. We used butter.
Yep.
And we ate liver because the doctors told the moms to serve liver once a week to avoid anemia. And I have some old newspaper articles on this.
Really?
Huh.
And that all, right up to the Second World War, that's how we ate. And the Europeans, when the Americans came in the Second World War, they just couldn't believe how tall and handsome and nice these men were. We were really a handsome, healthy population.
Yeah.
And all that changed with the Second World War. First of all, pasteurization came in, which destroys the nutrients in the milk,
Yep.
makes it very allergenic. We stopped eating butter because there was this big campaign about how bad it was for you. We stopped using lard because it's vulgar to use lard. Poor people use lard. And we stopped eating liver. And then all the processed foods came in, which were pushing out the nutrient dense foods.
Yes.
Then you got this big vegetarian push in the plant-based diet. So people even stopped eating meat.
So I was curious, what specific foods? Obviously, you don't have anybody use infant formulas or anything like that because that's all made the same horrible
Oh,
thing. They
the
make
infant
everything else
formula
with
is
toxic.
yeah, you know what it is. It's skim milk, vegetable oils, and sugar.
It's
Just
crazy.
couldn't give a worse thing to a growing infant.
It's just,
Uh, on a farm, if you give milk replacement to calves, favor of that, but if you do, the third ingredient on the ingredient list is animal fat because they know that these animals won't grow right without animal fat. But the human infant on formula doesn't get any animal fat. No wonder we have so many problems today. No wonder their jaws are not growing correctly. It's they say it's because they're not breastfeeding. The breast milk has animal fat in it.
Depending on what the mom's eating.
Yeah, and it does a lot depend on what the mom's eating. So we have, of course, we really encourage our nutrient dense diet for breastfeeding moms. Babies are just amazing,
mhm.
beautiful babies. But if a lot of moms really can't, they don't have enough milk, their diet hasn't been very good, or they have to go back to work, maybe. We even get moms who are just embarrassed to
Uh-huh.
breastfeed.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. We have a formula, it's based on raw milk, was formulated by Dr. Enig, and we've probably had about 20,000 babies on this formula, and they just do beautifully. Two of my grandsons had it for a while because their moms were just worn out and couldn't breastfeed anymore.
We had done a friend of ours was she was no longer able to breastfeed, but she was able to breastfeed for 6 months. And we
Mhm.
just went to your website, Weston A. Price, and the formula was on there. It's amazing all of the stuff that is on your website
Yeah,
for people,
yeah.
the
That's
resources.
westonaprice.org. There are no paywalls on this website. Everything we've ever published is on the website, plus even more stuff. We have a members only page for Facebook. But anyway, and then we also do have memberships, and the members receive our journal. So you can actually
Okay.
open up and read the journal, but everything in the journal does go on the website. So that's westonaprice.org. And then we have a second website called realmilk.com, where if you're looking for raw milk, you put your zip code in and you can find what's close to you.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
we're very proud of what that website has accomplished. When we started in 1999, so,
Yeah.
20,
Yeah.
26 years ago,
Yeah.
27 years ago, there were about 30 sources of raw milk in the whole country.
Yeah.
And today there are over 4,000, and there's many
Oh,
that aren't listed. Yeah.
that's
Right.
So it's
wonderful.
everywhere now. Can't be stopped. It's an
Yeah.
Yeah.
unstoppable movement. Yeah.
So talking about raw milk, because I've heard people comment that only babies need milk and
Mhm.
adults do not. What are your thoughts on that?
The cultures that Dr. Price studied that had dairy foods, either the sweet milk or cultured milk or cheese, grew taller and had fewer cavities.
Uh,
And the cultures that don't have dairy foods made provisions to get calcium either by crushing up the bones of birds or little animals. That's what they did and put them in the milk. And excuse me, and put them in their food. So they would put this bone meal type stuff in their food. And they found this 10,000-year-old pot from China. And what did it have in it? It had residue of bone meal.
really?
Huh.
So they knew they needed bones some way. And of course, milk is liquid bones. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's really not true that humans don't drink milk. They do drink milk. They have
Right.
all over the globe for thousands and thousands of years.
yeah. I
Right.
guess it was just we don't have to. Of course, you don't have to, but I
You don't
mean,
have to.
yeah.
Like my husband just couldn't stand dairy products.
Oh,
We love it. We love it
But
too much.
he got shrunk up as he got older because the
really?
bones were
Brittle?
diminishing,
Oh,
decreasing, yeah, in size.
Now, just real quick, back to the babies. So you've got an infant and feeding them breast milk, but now you start to switch them over into solid foods.
Mhm.
What's the progression of solid food? What solid foods, and is there a progression that you can get these people?
Yeah, this is very important, how to wean your baby. And we talk a lot about it because there's so much misinformation out there. One of the theories is that you should give babies food they can chew even before they have teeth, and that this will give them a wide jaw. And this is just not correct. Weaning food should start from between 4 and 6 months. And this goes right along with what traditional people do. In fact, some cultures start at 1 month. And we recommend for the first two weaning foods, egg yolk, which is a nice soft food, okay, and pureed liver, pureed chicken liver or duck liver or something like that. Chicken liver is
Uh-huh.
fine.
You mix that
And
together?
you can, or
Okay.
you can do it separately.
Okay.
But this ensures that the baby is getting a really nutrient-dense diet. You put salt in these foods. Babies need salt. And the one thing they're getting from these foods is cholesterol. And babies can't make cholesterol. Mother's milk is very hot, rich in cholesterol and has a special enzyme to ensure that 100% of that cholesterol is absorbed. Now, there's no cholesterol in infant formula. And the babies need this cholesterol for their cell membranes, for all of their organs, for hormone production. And babies do produce hormones if they can, if they have enough cholesterol. And I think this is one of the reasons that formula-fed babies cry so much because they're just not getting what they need.
Yeah.
So yes, it's the egg yolk and pureed liver, and as they grow, you can add other foods, and we have a whole article on this, Nourishing a Growing Baby, and on our website, and then my book, The Nourishing Traditions Book of Baby and Child Care,
And by
has
the
this.
We have
By,
this.
by the way, if any, for those of you who see the video on YouTube, this is the Nourishing Traditions book.
This is, I ordered this years ago when I very first heard about you, and this
Well,
showed
there's
up,
another
and I was
one.
like,
There's a
Okay.
book of baby and child care also,
okay,
Nourishing Traditions Book of
okay, I
Baby and
gotta
Child.
get that one too.
Yeah.
You gradually transition them to raw milk. But when they're a year, you can give them the whole egg. It's easier to, it's because eggs are hard to digest. Yeah, bone marrow is another great food for babies, very high fat food. And you can give them pureed vegetables with butter or cream and salt.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those early foods need to be pureed for the babies. And eventually, of course, they'll
Yeah.
eat, they'll chew their food. One of the trends that we are so concerned about is this idea of baby-led weaning, that you don't mash up the foods for them, that you give them foods they have to chew before they even have teeth, and that you let the baby choose what he wants to eat. And no,
Huh.
mom's in charge. She knows what to give baby to eat.
Right.
Yeah.
I hate that whenever just you saying to do egg yolks, you think of the fat that's in that and how
Yes.
that would be filling. Our oldest son, he was just so hungry. So I breastfed for a few months and then I didn't. So next thing they're like, add, oh, I hate to say it, that rice, that,
Oh, rice
oh,
cereal. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Hey, and the
We did
grains,
everything
we were
wrong.
so hungry. We just didn't know.
hopefully recovered.
Yeah,
Oh
The
yeah, he did.
grain, the grains are hard to digest, and we recommend waiting till they're a year. Same with the egg whites, they're hard to digest. So any foods that are a bit problematic for digestion, because baby has an immature digestive tract. And if you're careful and hold off on these foods and then prepare them properly, they'll be able to eat anything.
yeah. And especially with the even your chicken liver, I would think because that's not sweet. We start feeding our babies the jarred sweet things, and
Sweet
then they
things.
don't want to have
Yeah.
anything else.
Or
They just,
even worse than jarred, they're fruit in plastic
oh
or fruit
yes,
in aluminum.
those little squirt tubes and
Yeah, and the aluminum I'm really concerned about because these fruits are heated up to 290 degrees Fahrenheit. That aluminum comes off into the food,
does
Yeah.
oh
and the plastic does too. And then if you're doing baby food, we don't recommend it. We recommend you make your own food for baby. Use the jars, but you can't get very much in jars anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's really crazy when you look at the labels. The labels in these infant formulas are just like they are in all the other box bone
Oh,
bag can things.
yards
50%.
long.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Yeah, lots of
50% of it,
horrible ingredients.
high fructose
You,
corn syrup, seed
yeah.
oils, all these is
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sugar. I actually did an interview yesterday with some parents of three children, very healthy children. And he said what they did once a week, they made baby food and froze it in individual portions. He said it was so easy.
Yeah,
And then the whole week long, you just heated up the baby food.
that's awesome.
and when
And
they eat
the egg yolk is, you can do that fresh. You just make a fried egg with a runny yolk and spoon out the yolk, put some salt on it, spoon out the yolk
Oh,
for the baby. And they love that. And when they're getting plenty of fat, they don't get hungry between meals.
exactly. That's what I
You're
was gonna
not
say.
always feeding them. They don't cry because they don't have low blood sugar.
They sleep
Now,
better.
you might think this baby-led weaning says, oh, you don't have to go to the trouble of making purees. But if you don't go to the trouble of making purees, making your own baby food, you're going to be going to a lot of trouble about other things, sick babies and
Exactly.
doctor visits. And
I would think
a healthy
colicky.
baby never gets sick
Yeah.
and never cries. And by the way,
And then-
also
That's,
sleeps through the night by about the fourth month.
yeah. So that's a
That's a
beautiful.
wonderful thing
Uh-oh, I don't think a single parent would argue with that one.
because their blood sugar isn't dropping at night.
So exactly. So how do you tell them, teach them how to meal prep? Is there a certain way that you like to teach mothers to meal prep, like do it all on one day?
Yeah, that's
You can. That's what this couple was saying. Sunday was baby food making day, and it took a couple hours, and it was all in the freezer in individual portions, and they were set for the whole week.
Yeah, it saves so much time, so much
Yeah,
headache for the rest of the
money.
week. Yeah,
yeah.
money. Yeah, what do you
Yeah.
tell people who say, "Oh, but eating healthy is way too expensive"? You
You
tend
know,
to
you
hit
know how much a box of Cheerios costs?
exactly. And no,
Man.
I didn't
Yeah,
even know that. So
Yeah.
it's
we just don't buy that
Yeah. We don't
stuff.
buy it anymore. Yeah.
now butter's more expensive, raw milk is more expensive. It's worth it. It's
Yes.
worth it. You will
Yeah.
save so much in the long run
Yeah.
in dental costs, in therapy costs, in drug costs,
Right.
doctor's visits. Yeah, it's worth it.
What about salt? You've brought up salt a few times because we never talk
Yeah.
about salt. We know
Well,
we need it, but we never talk about it on our
And
you
podcast.
eat.
do.
Yeah, we
And
do eat.
adults need a teaspoon and a half of salt per day just to get the sodium and chloride that they need. And the government wants us to cut that in half. The government's trying to kill us,
Oh,
basically.
they are. They are. The
Yeah.
food companies, they all are. Everything they
And
say to do the exact opposite. It's
yeah, and you
crazy.
need salt during pregnancy. You need salt to make hormones, for example, and you're making lots of hormones when you're pregnant.
Oh, and everything. Muscles, nerves.
Yeah, brain
Yeah.
development and digestion. So you need the sodium to digest carbohydrates, and you need the chloride to make hydrochloric acid to digest protein in the stomach. And that's why the creator put a salt taste in your mouth to make sure that
Yeah.
you would eat salt. You
And
need
it's,
salt.
yeah, and when you eat something salty, I can tell it's like your body lets you know. It's like if you, it's, oh,
Too
this is too
much.
salty. This is just too
Yeah,
Yeah.
salty. Or
yeah,
if you need more salt.
yeah,
It was something else you had said in one of your interviews was that we will, if, because our body craves salt, we'll just always be hungry and we'll be trying to crave more salt.
yeah,
It's like our body's way of telling us that.
And in fact,
yeah,
that
yeah,
that
yeah.
friend that had that
And
baby with
right now we've got a heat wave right now. Where are you located?
Oh, yeah, Missouri. And we too.
Yeah, we're 102 degrees today. When you go outside and sweat, you need salt. You need more salt because you're
Yep.
losing salt.
Hmm.
We had a friend who ended up in the hospital. His wife had got health conscious and did everything right and put him on a low salt diet.
Yeah.
And he ended up in the hospital for 4 days getting IV saline because he was so low in sodium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very dangerous. And one of my big concerns is that there are these salt substitutes that stimulate the taste buds in the mouth but are not giving you salt. One of them is called Simonix, and it is in everything. And they don't need to label it. It's under artificial flavors. And it's just in all processed foods. And what that does is because you don't get the salt you need from your food, you're craving salt, you just eat and eat till you get enough salt. And of course, that leads to obesity.
Yeah, because the salt, the reason your body makes you crave salt is because it needs sodium. And these
Yeah.
salt substituents are potassium. So it's like you're still not, it's just like I heard
Oh, that's
something.
an interesting way of looking at it. And some of them aren't even that. They're really complicated chemicals.
Yeah.
They're drugs that
Yep.
just tell your salt taste buds that you've eaten salt, but you haven't.
And that's what I just heard something last week that just stuck in my brain. I'll never forget it. But it's talking about someone who is very thirsty. They're just thirsty all the time. So they go to the doctor and they say, Doc, I am thirsty all the time. What can I do about it? And instead of the doctor saying, that's your body's, you're dehydrated. That's your body craving water, drink water. Instead, they say, oh, don't worry. The drug company, they have a new pill now that blocks that
Oh,
thirst signal so you don't have to worry about it. And even though
oh my
everybody can
goodness.
understand how silly that is, like you don't block
Yeah.
the thirst signal, you drink. that's exactly what they're doing with all these things like the GLP-1s and all these other things. They're like,
Yeah.
my body is giving me a hunger signal because it needs nutrients, but now
Yes.
they have a drug that can just block that signal. And they think
Yeah.
that that's helping them. It's like, no, now you're not
Yeah.
getting vitamins, you're not getting minerals, you're not getting protein, you're not getting fat, not getting cholesterol, you're not getting
But
anything.
also, that signal comes from good gut flora, and it also
Right.
comes from the hypothalamus. So you need your fermented foods for the good gut flora, so you'll make that signal yourself. I'm full now. I've had enough.
Exactly.
And the hypothalamus is very much involved in appetite control, telling you when you've eaten too much or not enough. And what really fries your hypothalamus is MSG, monosodium
Oh,
glutamate, free glutamic acid. And again, that's in just about all processed foods.
yeah. Yeah, but it's totally stay away from anything. Box, bottle, bag, can, anything has a label on it. It
Yeah.
just it's all chemicals. It's all
Well, and
stuff
what
that
happens
you're,
is we do have to cook. Doesn't have
yes.
to be complicated, and there are a lot of things that you can buy that you don't have to cook. Like you can buy pate, you can buy liverwurst, you can buy butter,
Yeah.
and raw milk, and it can
And
be a simple diet that
lard.
but you just have to know what to buy.
Right.
One thing we have on the East Coast in the Atlantic region is scrapple. You know what scrapple is?
Huh?
No.
See, it's only sold in 5 states: Virginia, Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania. And it comes from the Pennsylvania Dutch. And it's made from the scraps of
No.
butchering the pig. And it's, the first ingredient's liver, and then it's the meat and heart, and it's cooked in a broth and cornmeal stirred in. And it's delicious. And the old timers here always had that for breakfast, and they cooked it in lard. And you look at the old timers around Southern Maryland, they are tall and good
Yep.
looking, and they ate scrapple and they ate oysters
Oh,
and they
Yep.
ate butter and they
Yep.
had raw milk. That's all you need.
See, and that's what I would love to have a good recipe for liver or anything. I know how healthy liver is, but I just eating liver, I've done it 3 times and I literally vomited all 3 times. It just that
Oh,
taste.
if if you're in the Mid-Atlantic, try scrapple. It's delicious.
yeah.
And a lot of people still eat it.
Yeah, I've got to.
How do you get it?
It's in the grocery store. There's two brands. The one I know is called Rappa. They're both made in Delaware, and you slice it and fry it. You make thin slices and fry it. It's
Huh.
crispy and delicious.
Huh.
We'll definitely have to try
Yeah.
that because
Mm.
I know organ meats is where all the vitamins and minerals are, and I know liver's got
Yeah.
all kinds of good vitamins and
And
everything.
you can also buy organ meat blends. You can buy ground beef with about 10% liver and 10% heart, and that's you don't really taste it. And a lot of people do that. Another thing you can do, and we've had wonderful feedback on this, is take desiccated. So desiccated liver. I take desiccated heart instead of statin. I take desiccated heart because heart
Uh,
disease that carried off my parents and my grandmother.
Yeah.
yeah, horrible.
But I think these are the vitamins of the future. But
So
desiccated liver, and I've heard amazing stories. I heard of a woman who had bad tooth decay, and she started taking desiccated liver and
really?
Yeah,
So you're
all
talking
healed
about
up.
the little pill, like a
The
little
pill,
yeah.
they did, yeah,
we buy all our stuff from local farmers. We don't buy food from the grocery
wonderful.
stores.
Yeah,
But that's one thing that we just found out because we've been getting a side of beef because it's so much cheaper. You get
yeah,
all the steaks and
yeah,
roasts and meat and hamburger and all that kind of stuff for about an average of around $6.50 a pound, which
yeah,
you can't do that anywhere.
Mhm.
But what we found this last time, our processor asked us about the organ meats because we didn't know how to cook them. And they said, if you want, we'll just grind it all up in with your hamburger.
yeah,
And and you
Yeah.
can't taste it. And so now all our
yeah.
organ meats are in there and it,
So you're eating liver in spite
Yeah.
of
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. And I'm not throwing up.
Yeah, and highly seasoned, and it's much easier in Europe to get organ meats because they are in the sausages and the pate and the terrines. And you go into a pub in England, you can always get chicken liver pate, every single one.
Wow.
So it is really much easier in Europe, and this is something we need to bring back
Yes.
to America. I like to say we need to make awful taste good.
There you go.
That's right. And that's what we tell everybody is that you are voting with your dollars.
Yes,
When you
yes,
buy food, If you're buying your food from the grocery store, you are saying, yes, I want you to continue to put toxins in my body and not give my body anything it needs. Or if you buy from a local farmer, you're saying, yes, I want nice, healthy food that's going to actually give my body the nourishment and not just satisfy this
And you're
taste of
supporting the
sweet.
farmer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we have something called the 50% campaign. We recommend that you spend 50% of your food dollar in direct sales from a farmer or artisan, like a baker or whatever. And then the other 50%, you can celebrate how small the world has become and enjoy pineapple and rice and
There you go.
avocados.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
it's not like you're depriving yourself of anything. But yeah, if everybody did, if even 10% of the population did that pledge of what we call a 50% pledge, we'd have a different world.
Yeah. Speaking of different world, the other thing that, and it's so crazy because people who are born after 2000, these kids, they look around and they don't realize that this isn't the way it was. I was born in 1962, 60s, 70s. People weren't obese the way they are. They didn't have any of the diseases like they do now. And so it's easy for us to say we have gone way off the rails. But people, the new people who are coming up, they don't know. They just look around, they see everybody's obese, everybody's sick, everybody's on
Yeah,
medications.
they think it's normal.
And a
You
big one
know,
that everybody's on is antidepressants. Antidepressants and all
yes,
these
it's
anti-anxiety meds that
yeah,
we never used to see
it's
this
about a third
before.
of the population. I'm about to go back to California for my 60th high school reunion.
Oh,
Oh
fun.
man.
And there was nobody obese in our class. We didn't have anyone with autism, or
Yep.
there were a couple of kids who were maybe a little bit strange, but
Yeah.
they were
That's
all
nature.
functioning people in school, and nobody had cancer. Everyone had their parents. Nobody's parents had died of cancer. Yeah, but it was the beginning. It was the beginning of the switch to the processed foods for sure. And then the next generation is weaker. Now we're on the next generation after that, and they're weaker still, much less likely to breed. And this is exactly what we find in animal studies. You can coast along for a generation or two, but then all hell breaks loose and
Yeah.
everybody's sick.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're seeing.
You were talking one time on a podcast about fruits, the different kinds of fruits, and the fruits that you have to cook, and the
Yeah,
fruits that you can
yeah.
eat raw.
And the citrus.
So in the temperate regions, fruit has a lot of pectin in it. And that is very hard to digest, especially for an infant. That's why I don't recommend giving raw fruit to an infant. I think it should be cooked. And of course, everyone's giving raw apples to infants. I don't think it's such a good idea. Cook
What
them, you mash them, and then you put cream on them and a little bit of salt, and that is a beautiful dessert for a baby.
Yeah.
so is there a certain fruit that you would recommend for babies versus certain fruits that you would not recommend?
Banana turns out to be a very good fruit for babies. One of the tribes that Dr. Price studied had this tradition that they only ate meat when with bananas,
Oh,
which
wow.
is interesting, but there are protease enzymes in bananas that help you digest meat. And bananas are very rich in B6 also. A ripe mashed banana for baby is a good thing to give them.
That's interesting. And speaking of babies, another thing I want, salt. Again, the friend that we were talking about that they're trying to raise their baby healthy, and we gave them the books and the website and everything. Their baby got a little bit of constipated one time. And so I said, just a little bit, just sprinkle a little bit of salt on their food. And it worked like almost
That's
immediately.
interesting.
But
That's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
I actually thought the same thing. So I thought, well, you could try this. It's not going to hurt. But
Yeah.
all of a sudden, it took care of it. And that's what I was wondering if you'd heard that before, if
I've never
any of
heard
you had.
that. Of course, we always recommend salt on their
Yeah.
food anyway,
Right. So they
but
must not
we
use.
have a prune juice drink for babies if they get constipated, and so we have an herbal drink for them.
Yeah.
So as far as the amount, you say pretty much a mother can just mother, father, parents can make the baby food and salt it to their taste. I know
Yes,
that'll be enough salt. That'll be a good
yes,
amount of salt for the baby as
yes,
well.
yes.
Okay, that's good information to have also because that's what a lot of people say. How much salt do you put in there? Well, what's it
What you
taste like
don't
to you?
want is them craving things like potato chips and that are really
Right.
salty and made with seed oils. And if you give them the salt that they need with their food, they won't have those cravings. And they won't crave sugar either. They won't need the sugar. Now, I'm not saying don't give them the occasional sweet thing, something with maple syrup or honey. We do have a sweet taste in our mouth, and we don't want them to feel deprived. But we just use such poor judgment in feeding our children
Oh my
candy
gosh.
and
The little
sweet things
golden
all the time.
fish, the little,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
that's like a,
horrible, horrible.
and unfortunately, my kids did eat that as well.
Because we didn't know. We didn't even,
Yeah, we,
our son, we tell everybody when he was probably about 7, 6, 7, 8, like that, he went over to a friend's house, spent the night, and came back the next morning, and they're like, "Oh, Mom, Dad, we were over there, and they had this thing you probably never heard of. It's called Pop Tarts." We're like, yes, we've heard of them. We just didn't want you to know about
Yeah.
them." Like, oh, and then it began. So train your kids as well as you can, but once they get out around their other sibling or other
So,
peers,
I would never let my kids have sodas. And I remember once my son was invited to a birthday party, and the first thing they did when they walked to this birthday party, every child was given a can of Coca-Cola. And the look my son gave me, he took a sip of this Coca-Cola and he looked at me and he said, "See, I have to drink this because I'm a guest."
because I'm a guest. Did he
But
like
can
it
you
or did he not
imagine
like it?
the poor judgment of the parents do
That's,
that? Yeah,
yes.
just
Did,
such
did
poor.
your did your son like it or not like it?
I don't know. I never asked him, but he
didn't
never
ask
got
him.
another one. No.
Is there one main thing is, oh, nobody understands this.
One is the raw milk.
Yes.
Now, raw milk consumption is at an all-time high, and we have over 4,000 sources in the United States. So a lot of people are drinking raw milk and learning about it. But you get people so wedded to the germ theory and so
Yeah.
believing of the government propaganda that they
Yes.
wouldn't touch it. They think it's going to kill them.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because raw milk is such a wonderful food for a growing child. It gives him everything he needs, protects him against the Pop Tarts and
Yeah.
the sodas that he's inevitably going to eat. You can't protect him completely, or you can't keep them from doing this completely. But the raw milk is highly protective and protects them against cavities and gives them strong bones and
And good bacteria for their guts.
good bacteria for the gut. It's easy to digest and it's good for their brains. It's good for their athletic ability. Who was the famous coach of the team in Wisconsin? Anyway, he said he's famous. I can't remember the name. He said, "I never saw an athlete that wasn't a great milk drinker." And these were boys coming off the farms in the Midwest to play football. He said the ones that were really strong and husky and good athletes were the milk drinkers. But this was raw milk. It wasn't pasteurized.
Yeah, yeah. I need to be sure and go order some.
Yeah, I think
We have a place around here where they locally and they will deliver like dairy, actually anything but dairy.
Yeah.
Goat's milk, I guess, is just as good as cow.
Yeah, goat milk is great.
I've never had goat's milk, just the
Yeah,
cow's
yeah.
milk, but they have cheese, they have and meats,
And
which is
probably
really,
eggs. Yes.
yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And even if some people are sensitive to eggs, some people are sensitive to eggs. I've heard if they switch over, it's because of certain protein that's in the albumin on the eggs. And if they switch over to duck eggs and quail eggs, a lot of people, the chicken eggs have the high amount of this
Could
protein, and the
be.
duck eggs don't. So they can.
Well, the
That's
egg
another
whites
thing.
definitely need to be cooked.
Yeah.
Raw, they're
Right.
very hard to digest.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
And I make a fried egg and just eat the yolk. That's basically what
I've heard of people doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Years ago when we were doing all the low fat, I was wasting all the yolks.
Yeah,
But I
And
would
that's where the
find out.
fat soluble vitamins are.
and that's what
Is there
scares
anything
everybody.
more disgusting than an egg white omelet?
Oh, it's terrible. You have, and then I was trying to put fat-free cheese on it that doesn't melt, and then dousing it in salsa.
This is
to
before
make,
we knew.
Yes.
this was, we didn't know.
Yeah.
We only got converted about 5 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. And I
Well, you
actually,
survived. You
yeah.
survived. Yeah.
And I remember our son still lived at home. He was in high school, and I made scrambled eggs, yolk, white, and put butter in it. And he was like, "These are the best eggs I have ever had."
Oh, wonderful.
I know. I didn't.
Eating becomes so much fun when you get over this hang up about the fats.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And when you eat with plenty of fat, you don't eat as much because you're satiated quickly. You don't get hungry between meals, and the food tastes really good. And you don't need to put a lot of salsa or sugar or
Right.
anything on the food
Uh-huh.
to be satisfied.
And with the fat also, you get the cholesterol. which
Yes.
a lot of people
So important.
we still will have people. You even had you have a client that went to his doctor and is just was thinking he was insane for saying that he should be eating fat.
Yeah, animal
Yeah.
fat. And most doctors are that way because I was trained the same way. I
Yeah.
mean, they don't realize how brainwashed they are by these drug
Yeah.
companies. They
Yeah.
really don't realize.
And where it came from Procter and Gamble,
Yep.
which basically gave this huge contribution to the American Heart Association very early on, it was 1920s.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
And they
Crisco.
started pushing Crisco
Yep.
and demonizing the competition, which was lard and butter.
Yep.
And it was all about money. It had no science behind it. And the
Animal
seed
feed.
oils. Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
it's just a terrible way to eat, and we're reaping the whirlwind now.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was wondering, with Weston A. Price being as huge as it is, are you getting government coming after you, just telling you
Uh,
need to
you
shut down
know,
your site and everything?
no, they came after our Facebook page, and we have to be very careful on social media, very careful,
Yeah.
because we've also been strongly opposed to vaccinations.
Yes.
And
As are
so
we.
we're very careful what we post, but otherwise we're just ignored and we're a little fringe. But we have 15,000 members and
Wow.
we have chapter leaders all over the country. We have almost 500 chapter leaders worldwide. And they're listed on our website, westonaprice.org. And if you contact the chapter leader, they'll tell you where all the good foods are in the area. A lot of them have meetings, so you can meet like-minded people. And
Well,
they
that's
usually
nice.
keep a list of holistic doctors in their area.
That and all those are wonderful resources. You guys, if anybody out here is listening to this and want to do that, the site is easy and it's very easy to find your way around too. It's that you don't get all confused when you're on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I'm very proud of our website. And just for example, you have gout. Look up gout on our website. You'll find 4 or 5 articles,
Well,
podcast interviews.
if you don't do anything else, change this one thing.
Oh, what I was going to say, the thing I'm
Okay.
most concerned about is this lie going out that narrow jaws are caused by eating soft food.
Mm.
And this is like saying if you eat hard candy, you'll have straight teeth, and if you eat soft candy, you'll have
Right.
a narrow jaw. This doesn't make sense at all. And Weston Price never said anything like this. And babies' first foods really need to be soft foods. If you have a nice strong jaw when you grow up, of course you can chew all these things, but
Right.
that's not going to give you a strong jaw. So that's one thing. And then you're going back to what can we change? The very first thing I say is eat butter. No spreads, no margarines, no seed oils. Eat butter.
Yep.
And if you're really brave, you can cook in lard. and
Oh,
and
that's
eat
how
the
I
meat
was
with the
raised.
fat and all that. And the second thing I would say, if you do any cooking at all, is make your own salad dressing. Read the list of ingredients on bottle dressings,
I
and they're
know.
made with the cheapest seed oils. They are so bad for you. And of course, the reason they want you to eat a lot of vegetables is because they want you to use these dressings. So it's very easy to make oil and vinegar dressing or with mustard, or you make a mustard honey dressing. They're very easy to make. And I always say that's the very first thing you should learn to cook is your salad dressing. I taught all my kids how to make salad dressing. They still do. And they've never bought those horrible bottle dressings.
Yeah.
And
Well,
not
We
only
actually,
have seed oils, they have high fructose corn syrup,
yep.
lots of MSG in them, lots of artificial flavors.
yeah. And the like the mayonnaise. We
Yeah.
bought for a while mayonnaise and it said it was probably Kraft or something, but it said
Yeah.
made with avocado oil. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
perfect. We're like probably using it for a couple of years. Finally go to read the ingredients and canola oil
Yeah.
was the very first and avocado oil was the very
It's
last.
right down at the bottom. Like they just
Yeah.
whiffed avocado and then they go and try to promote it like they've got this
So
healthy thing.
yeah, so if you're going to buy things, you
But
need
you
to read
know
that.
what mayonnaise was a substitute for? It was concocted during, I think, the Napoleonic Wars, and they didn't have enough cream. And the French used crème fraîche, which is this delicious, it's like sour cream.
Okay.
And it was a substitute for that. I go back to using sour cream.
Yeah.
So instead of
Yeah.
cream, yeah, and we use sour cream too. So
Mm.
instead of cream on this, when this was first invented, when the mayonnaise was first invented, what did they use instead of the cream?
Olive oil. They used olive oil.
Oh.
Or it could have been, I don't think they had vegetable oils then.
Yeah,
Could have
See, and
been.
that's what we do for salad. If we're going to have a salad,
Yeah,
we'll just do
yeah.
plain extra
Use
virgin
olive
olive
oil.
oil.
Yeah,
yeah, a
And
lot
it
of times
tastes
you
wonderful.
can even just squeeze lemon. I know it's crazy how good just that is. You
yes,
know?
yes, yes. Right.
Is there anything else you want to say? We're
I
trying to.
just give you a couple websites, westonaprice.org, and really encourage you to become a member. Membership's only $40 a year. We've never raised the
Oh,
price. Become a member of our family. And then wisetraditions.org is about our conference. And our conference this year is in Washington, D.C., October 16th through 18th. Then our other website is realmilk.com
Oh yeah.
for finding raw milk. And my website is nourishingtraditions.com,
Okay.
which I used to post a blog about every couple of weeks, but I haven't done it in a while. But there's a lot of very interesting information there. And on our website, we've talked a lot about feeding babies. There's an article called Nourishing a Growing Baby. So that's a good one to look at.
Okay.
Another very frequently visited page is Dangers of Statin Drugs.
Ah, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I that's one of the things I hit on when I speak on stage is I show people exactly how statins work and kill every single cell in your body, just one cell
Yeah,
at a time
eventually,
that's
yeah.
killing. They're absolutely
Yeah.
horrible for no reason to lower your LDL. It's like we are so brainwashed. We are so
What's wrong with
brainwashed.
LDL?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I know. Now there are some bad LDLs, but you're not going to measure that. That's where you need to watch your triglycerides, and that'll tell you if you have the bad LDLs or the good LDL.
I
Yes.
just wouldn't worry about it at all.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but the statins are, if there's any one drug to cut out, it's the statins. You can do it cold turkey. You don't have
Yep.
to gradually come off like
Right.
blood pressure drugs, and they're just horrible for you.
Yeah. And diabetic drugs. Diabetic drugs were actually invented to make more diabetics.
Oh,
At first they weren't, but now they are. They all work.
yeah.
Diabetes
Well,
is
the
a
statins cause diabetes, they cause Parkinson's, cause memory loss, they cause muscle wasting,
Yep.
they cause erectile dysfunction, and they're
Yep.
putting young men on these drugs.
Yeah.
Mm.
And all this high glucose and causing high insulin levels, and that's what's called
Yeah,
PCOS,
yeah,
anerectile dysfunction.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It's just,
we're seeing it's just horrible. When you start eating all this man-made food, it's just killing
Yeah,
every single organ in our
yeah.
body.
And the doctors
Horrible.
do it because they get paid to do it.
Yeah. And a lot of them really don't know. They're trained by the drug
Yeah,
companies unless they have some reason to go out and look like
yeah,
I did. That's the only reason I even found out about this because I was asked to give a talk on childhood obesity. I thought, I don't know that much about it, so let me go to nutrition information. That's when I found all these quote unquote irreversible diseases that I was taught about are not irreversible. They're reversing the diseases all the time. Type 2
yeah.
diabetes and fatty liver disease and
And it's the seed oils that cause the fatty liver disease, and
yep,
they're definitely associated with obesity. And we
yep.
have articles about this on our website also, and we have articles about everything.
Yeah.
everything good.
And
Yep.
inflammation. They
Yeah.
definitely increase the inflammation in the body. Also,
Yes,
all these seed
yes,
oils
they
do.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the inflammation, a lot of people say it's the cause of disease, but it's actually the body's therapy for disease and to cushion damaged tissue or just keep you out of pain.
Yeah, keep putting toxins in, then you're going to keep your inflammation up because it's your little body's warriors out there trying to take care of all these things.
Yeah.
You just keep bombarding it with more and more
Yeah, I know.
toxins, and you just stop putting that in me, and we'll let up on you as far as the inflammation. But thank you so
Yes.
much for
Oh, all
Well,
right.
thank
Thank you very much. And yeah, once you've got this up and running, let me know. We'll post this.
Okay,
Okay,
awesome.
that sounds awesome. Again,
Thank
this
you.
is Sally Fallon, and thank you so much for all the great work you're doing, and all the great information you're putting out there. We've already been telling everybody,
Yeah.
but we'll make sure this gets out there to tell even more people about you guys.
I hope to see you at the conference.
Okay,
Oh,
yes.
oh yeah, you will.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, you.
bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.